Napoleon Hill, Napoleon Bonaparte, was once the Emperor of France, and actually he got kind of dethroned, and so he had his little army, but the army of French greatly outnumbered him, vastly outnumbered him, and so they were going to go and basically conquer him and bring him back to whoever was being the emperor. And so they sent out an army, maybe let's say 1/4 of the army of France to go attack Napoleon Bonaparte. And Napoleon Bonaparte has this tiny army compared to the army of France. And in this battle, every single person dies except for Napoleon Bonaparte. And what Napoleon Bonaparte did after that was he was just decisive, and he just kept walking towards the city of France. And he walked up to this entire range of the entire army of France, and he said to them, "Kill me if you want, but I am your emperor." And then the entire army, they hesitated for a moment, and then they came and actually joined him and joined his side, even though he was the only person left. And they joined him, and he became the emperor again. And so I think that this speaks to the power of decision. So we're going to talk a little bit just about the power of decision in Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich, and the chapter of decision. I heard this story from The Charisma Myth, which is a great book, and she says in there that in times of uncertainty, people turn to people who are bold, confident, and decisive. And I think this makes sense because when things are uncertain, then people are going to want to inherently have certainty. And so this is great synthesis with Napoleon Hill's book, his book Think and Grow Rich, where he says the majority of men would have found it difficult to make, Napoleon Bonaparte's decision, but Napoleon Hill talks about Sam Adams' decision when Great Britain was trying to take over. They were trying to control America, and they would have either given him bribes. He had two choices. He could have ceased opposition from Britain and made a lot of money, or he could risk being hanged and tell them to go, get out of here. And he chose the latter, and so he risked his life. And he was bold, confident, and decisive. So Sam Adams, Napoleon Bonaparte, Napoleon Hill, I think they all have this quality. So a few other things from this chapter that I found interesting. Basically, decision is the mastery of procrastination. He says that the opposite of decision is procrastination. It's procrastinating things, and it's procrastinating decisions. Napoleon Hill says that lack of decision is near the top of one of the major causes of failure. And Napoleon Hill also says that people who make money tend to reach decisions quickly and definitely and change them very slowly. And then he says, and this is synthesis for me, I guess, is just making sure that when you change decisions slowly, I think that stops you or prevents you from quitting or changing your mind too often, or from changing it when it's mainly just resistance and you shouldn't have actually changed it. So if you make decisions quickly and then change your mind slowly, I think it gives you some backup or some protection in some way. But being definite, I think that this is the key, is being definite. And then, Napoleon Hill says that people who fail to accumulate money make decisions slowly and change their mind quickly and often. So Napoleon Hill says, reach your own decisions and follow them, and then just take no one into your confidence except the members of your mastermind. Also then to not talk of your plans unwisely, and keep a closed mouth and open ears and eyes. And then the epigram that he says is, tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it. And that deeds are what count. Deeds are, and not words, are what count most. And same with actually what Napoleon Bonaparte is saying, great decision takes great risks. And Napoleon Bonaparte had a quote that he said, nothing is more difficult and therefore more precious than to be able to decide. And because this power of decision is something that's very hard to do, this is what Napoleon Bonaparte is saying. If we can master that skill, that is very an important skill, especially in times of uncertainty. It is even more valued, is to be definite and to have decisive decision.
Can you go over that one more time?
So Napoleon Bonaparte says nothing is more difficult and therefore more precious than to be able to decide. So because it's a rare skill, it's rare because it's hard, and therefore it's precious. And so then I would just add synthesis from the Charisma Habit, which is that she says that that in times of uncertainty, it's even more valued. Decision is even more valued. Certainty is even more valued when there's uncertainty. So especially to be able to make decisions during times of uncertainty, you know, for a leader of a country or for a leader of anything really, is very, very powerful. Because people are looking for, everyone is looking there, everyone is uncertain, and so they are looking for someone to stand up and be bold and confident and to make a decision. And then I think this fits in some ways. Martin Luther King says a quote that faith is taking the first step when you don't see the whole staircase. And I think I really like that quote. I think that's powerful, and that's part of the decision, right? It's, even if, you know, sometimes it's hard to make decisions because maybe we can't see the whole staircase, but it's just all about taking the first steps, even when you don't know what's beyond the first two steps, even when you can't see the staircase. Men like Napoleon Bonaparte took the first two steps when they couldn't see the staircase. Men like Samuel Adams did that, and I think that men like all of us will do that as well. Thank you.
You bite my nails, all nervous and shit.
Exciting.
Cool, awesome.
Thank you.
Well done.
Voila.